And now, it's Boomer Life, lifestyle discussion designed to make your life more engaging, meaningful, and complete. Celebrating the baby boomer generation, this is Boomer Life on CIL 650.
Moving out. I'm moving out.
Well, good morning and welcome to Boomer Life here on CIL 650. I'm Sterling Fox. Our producer is Dwayne Bishop, who's already in a musical mood here. He's got us moving out, and we haven't even started the program yet. And we're going to talk about downsizing. Our guest today on Boomer Life, well, we're going to talk about retirement living with the folks from Shannon Oaks, a Baptist housing seniors independent living community in Vancouver. And back with us in studio from Shannon Oaks, as sales and marketing manager with Baptist Housing in BC, Jillian Fullerton is here. Hi.
Good morning, Sterling. It's good to be here.
It's nice to have you back with us.
And we have another Shannon Oaks as well in Victoria.
That's right.
Oak Bay in Victoria.
That's
so there
right.
are two Shannon Oaks. And not those are the two Shannon Oaks. We have other independent living as well.
Exactly. Now, Shannon Oaks in Victoria is relatively speaking brand new.
Well, relatively. A few
because
years
Shannon
younger.
Shannon Oaks in Vancouver is 50 years old.
No, it's not. Shannon Baptist Housing is 50 years old.
Okay.
Shannon Oaks in Vancouver we're in our 13th year now.
But it's on the same piece of real estate
Exactly.
that Baptist Housing bought and built on 50 years ago. I know this because you had a big party there just a few weeks ago.
We did indeed. So 50 years ago, Baptist Housing started by building a rental place, affordable rental for seniors in Southeast Vancouver on the very site today that Shannon Oaks is, as well as Clarendon Court.
Right.
Which is an assisted living place.
And Clarendon Court was the original name of that property, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, I
Right.
believe. Yes, yeah. So we commemorated that this last month, just a few weeks ago, by planting a tree, having a plaque, and recognizing Baptist Housing now has grown hugely, so that we are now, we have 16 different sites throughout BC. We're Canadian-owned, Canadian-operated, and also we have a very sort of compassionate, caring approach because we are Baptist Housing.
Right, and because of that, you have, for example, and I know this because you were telling us just before we went on the air this morning, that you've just returned from a trip up to the Okanagan.
That's
and
true.
Baptist Housing in Kelowna area has lineups. I mean, literally waiting lists that could go on for a year or more, right?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Now, what's the difference between a setup such as you have in Kelowna, which you call a campus of care, versus what Shannon Oaks is in East Vancouver?
Well, essentially what they have in Kelowna is they have independent living for independent seniors. They have assisted living when you need 2 or more prescribed services like help with medications, help dressing, help bathing, help for finances, things like that.
Right.
That's assisted living. Or then you have complex care or residential care, it's also called.
Right.
That's full-on care, where you need help with everything. So that is more of a hospital setting.
But you've managed...
So that's the campus.
Right, and that in Kelowna you actually have all three
on one site.
Facilities or areas of care in one physical location.
That's right.
That's fantastic.
That's right. We do have it too in Vancouver to a degree, but not to the degree I would say that we do in Kelowna. Because in Vancouver at Shannon Oaks we have both the independent living, 146 suites, plus assisted living, which is Clarendon Court. So you can get help bathing, dressing, all of that.
Right, okay. So if you need to move, even if you're in Vancouver and you're incredibly independent when you move there, but as life goes on, you find yourself in need of a little more assistance, you can stay on the same piece of real estate, maybe change a building, and that'd be about the biggest move you'd have to make.
That's right, and it's under the same roof, too, so you just walk down a corridor and through some doors, and you're into Clarendon Court.
Interesting stuff.
Living. Yes.
Okay. Now, you've also brought a guest with you, and it's nice to see Ann McKenzie from Estate Property Services, who has visited us in the past on Boomer Life. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again, too.
Now, your company, Estate Property Services, is you're a very busy company, and you're a rapidly growing BC company, but still the majority of your activities is involving downsizing. So talk to us a little bit about Estate Property Services and what exactly you mean by downsizing.
Right. We work with our clients in many aspects of preparing their home for sale and organizing and helping them with their move, whether they're moving to an independent situation or assisted living and sometimes even full care.
Right.
And we address all aspects of the move, and we try to address each of our clients' individual needs, so that we're working very closely with them and sometimes with their family members to help them make the move as stress-free as possible.
Right.
And that might involve helping them choose the furnishings that they're taking with them, organizing and managing the move, talking with them about what they're going to do with the balance of their property, and then if they're ready to relinquish what's left in their home, then we work with them to gift some of the items that they want to give to loved ones.
Right, right.
We work with them in selling their property, some of their property, and donating and disposal, and we get their property ready to go on the market.
And you talked about the variety of care communities that you at Estate Property Services assist people to move to. And so you talk about moving people possibly into an independent living community or an assisted living community. Do you find, and you've been at this for a while,
We have.
do you find that in too many situations people are moving into communities out of physical need reasons rather than just the freedom of making a decision to go to somewhere because it might be fun?
Well, and it is fun.
Of course
and
it is
fun.
But people sometimes don't get to make
That's right.
that choice. They wait too long.
That's right. They miss that window of opportunity to take full advantage of an independent living situation. When we're talking with clients, we say, don't miss this window. Make the move to Shannon Oaks and take advantage of all the social activities that they offer, while taking the load off your shoulders of what you're going to make for dinner, what you're going to eat, doing the shopping, all of that sort of thing, looking after the care of your property. All of that is gone once the client makes the move to a property like Shannon Oaks.
Right, and Jillian, you and I have talked about this many times. You are relentlessly surveying and constantly asking residents of all of the Baptist housing communities, not just Shannon Oaks, about levels of satisfaction. You're always looking for feedback from your residents because you want to make life better for them.
And we are a service industry, so we give service.
Right, and so one of the findings that you keep repeating on this program, because it keeps coming up all the time, is that if anything people get back to you with, it's, this is great. This is really a lot of fun. My only regret is, gosh, I should have been here a few years earlier and had even more fun.
Right.
That's right.
I think every one of our residents would have said that. They wish they had moved earlier.
That's right.
It's so, it's a new lease on life. You're making new friendships. You're doing activities you couldn't dream you were doing. You're going on trips and bus trips. It's like one of our residents says, well, heck, I'm living the life I wanted to 10 years ago. Now I've got it.
That's
right.
right.
And I encourage people to do that. It just gives you, rather than sitting in your home, which can be a prison in a sense.
Sure.
Because of the fear of going out, because of how to get out, because of the weight of maintenance of a home on your shoulders, all of that.
Well, and I know a case of this personally, where there's a person who has a really, really bad leg and can't go up and down stairs. Well, the house. Her part of the house is one flight up from street level.
Yeah.
So you use the word prisoner.
Yes.
And I mean, in this particular poor woman's case, Jillian, it's exactly what she is. Because she is confined to quarters, because she can't go up and down the stairs, she actually is a prisoner in her own house.
Either that, or they take the challenge of the stairs. I remember picking up a man who now lives at Shannon Oaks, picking him up at his house. He came down the front steps, concrete stairs. He threw his walker down to the ground and then sort of made his way down. And I'm thinking, this is an accident waiting to happen.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it's horrible with the risk they take. The basement stairs, I have to go down and do my washing. I'm going, oh dear. I mean, if it were my mother, I would not allow that to happen.
Exactly.
That's really an accident that's just waiting.
Ann, I wanted to ask you about your experience, your years of experience with estate property services and assisting people in making moves of whatever sort. Maybe it's just somebody selling the big old house in the burbs and moving into a condo downtown because that's downsizing for them in their life.
That's right.
Enough of the ladders and maintenance and lawnmowers. Forget about it.
That's right.
Okay, so other people, though, and Jillian and I have, well, we've had a few giggles over the years talking about reluctant seniors and the strategies sometimes employed by we boomer kids to at least get mom or dad interested in this option when they're clearly not going to be interested given just half a chance.
Right.
What does your experience tell you, though, about seniors and the whole making the move to a retirement community? Do most seniors, in your experience, Anne, move of their own volition, or are they, shall we say, persuaded by their kids to make the move?
Well, there's some of the persuasion that goes on, but typically, our typical client is in control of the decision making. They know what they want. The hardest thing for them in this process is making that decision to move and where to move.
Right.
Once that decision's made, then it's free sailing, going ahead and making all the plans because they're busy with the planning. But I would say to you
the first hurdle, the making the decision to move is the hardest.
That's right. Once they've made that decision to move and where they're going to be going, that's the biggest hurdle. But my typical client makes the decision on their own. And if there are some physical issues or some dementia involved, then usually the children are involved in helping that process along.
Right.
And once again, there we are in this situation where the client has waited a little bit too long. They've waited a little bit too long. If they're we talked about this before. The average age of a senior moving into an independent living residence in Canada is about 84, right? And
it's that high.
It's that high.
Wow.
So we love to see people in their late 70s because we know they have a great opportunity to enjoy everything that's offered in the seniors' residences.
Okay. So is that a difficulty, though, Jillian, if the average move-in age, as Ann says, is sort of mid-80s? How much more difficult is it then for you and other members of your team at Shannon Oaks to talk to someone who's maybe early 70s, who's good and ready to move in, thank you very much, but is maybe a little, I'm 10 years younger than the average resident here. Am I going to fit in? Do people ask you that?
Well, they don't ask me directly, but you can see that question is there.
Okay.
At Shannon Oaks, what we are stressing is to get the healthy young senior. So that is what we really prefer. And we've had some wonderful people move in their 70s. Just recently in the last, say, 6 moves, I think they're fairly young coming in. So we're doing something right there. Introducing them to our Sharon Ginter, our activity coordinator. She is amazing. She keeps them going, and she's a ball of fire.
She's
really
lots
is.
of fun.
Yeah, she is. She's been on the program.
A very caring person, too.
Very caring, yes. But in terms of what I say to the people is, do not park your lifestyle at the door and move in. Bring it with you, and we adapt to you. And so if you've got something you like to do, whether it is bringing your bridge group in is a simple one. So if you want to do that, bring them in. We'll do it. I've got somebody that's a member of an organization. I won't say what it is, but she's got a chapter meeting.
Okay.
And I say, bring them here. We'll serve them up. We'll do whatever we want. Bring them on in. And so she's having her Christmas meeting at Shannon Oaks.
Nice.
And it's going to be, we'll serve them all sorts of goodies and things like that, and just to accommodate them. She doesn't have to close it. Say no to them. I can't host the meeting at my place.
Right.
Now we will host it for her and do it for her.
Interesting stuff.
And that's why we want to encourage them to come in and not park their lifestyles, bring it in.
Well, I'm thinking also if you're talking about encouraging younger seniors to consider a retirement community as a lifestyle option, then also you'd be looking at more couples perhaps in that case too, right?
That's true.
Yes,
that's true.
Yes.
We
have a lot of couples at Shannon
right.
Oaks, which is, I've been in, as you know, a few places.
Exactly.
And there is a great number of couples at Shannon Oaks, which enriches the how can I say, the male population, because there is a camaraderie there. The men get together and there's a billiards night where they have a fierce competition. They all get together and, I think a few women should belong to that,
Right.
but they don't.
Right.
You don't want to break that up. The men really enjoy it and have a great deal of time. So that kind of thing is reassuring to men coming in. We've had single men come in, some delightful single men. The women really like that.
I'm not in the least bit surprised by that.
I was touring a young man, a man in his early 70s, and I can't tell you the number of women that came up to me after and said, "Gillian, is he moving in?
Yeah.
Is he moving in?" And he did move in.
Well, there you go.
He's still single.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'll keep the blood pressure up then, right?
Yeah, people still are interested,
Well,
no matter what age.
Right.
Yeah, we're all humans
That's
here.
right. That's right. But I think too that our attitude is changing about a senior's independent living residence. It's not an old folks' home where you go to die.
Well put.
It's the next phase in your life,
Right.
and you're going to enjoy it to the fullest.
Yes.
Take advantage of everything that there is to offer.
Our guests on Boomer Life today from Shannon Oaks and Baptist Housing, Sales and Marketing Manager Gillian Fullerton, and from Estate Property Services, downsizing expert Ann McKenzie. And we're back with lots more right after this quick timeout.
Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CIL 650.